Warren Buffett wrote a very, very important letter in the midst of this financial crisis, and people can see this for the good or for the bad. I choose to see this for the good. You'll see other people take a cynical point of view, and I'll explain to you what the cynical point of view is and why it's wrong. But Warren Buffett wrote a very important letter and published it as an open letter in the New York Times on, I think it was October the 18th. And as soon as he published the letter, the stock market spiked. And when I give you a very short extract from the letter, and this is in one of my posts that you'll see on, I think it's October 22, if you go to my blog, 7million7years.com, I think you'll see the whole letter. I published it on October 22, and you'll see this written up as a post, and this video posted there as well in sometime in November, but you'll also see it on AJC Vault, which is right on the screen in front of you now. Okay, so Warren Buffett's letter, just to take the very, very key points from it, says this. So, in the midst of this financial crisis, this huge meltdown, when everybody is scared and more money is pouring out of the stock exchange than has ever gone into it before, come out of the stock market before, people are rushing to get out of it. Stock market's crashed to 5-year lows. It's going up and down like a roller coaster. What's Warren Buffett is doing? He has been buying American stocks. Now, he's been buying stocks in Berkshire Hathaway. That's his company that makes him so rich. You know that. But Warren Buffett has got his personal money as well outside of Berkshire Hathaway. The money that he's earned as a director of the company and as a private investor all those years owning a business. Obviously, he's got money outside of Berkshire Hathaway as well. Not as much as what's in Berkshire Hathaway, but a significant sum outside that somebody may know how much. I don't have that off the top of my head. So what's he been doing with that money? For the first time, you've got to understand this, for the first time in Warren Buffett's life that I'm aware of, outside of his company Berkshire Hathaway, which always buys businesses and always buys stocks, plus some other things from time to time, he has in his personal life been buying American stocks today when the market is in the greatest crisis since the Great Depression, and we may be heading into another one. What's Warren Buffett doing? Running away? No, he's buying stocks. He says, this is my personal account I'm talking about, in which I previously owned nothing but United States government bonds. Everybody's running away from stocks to cash and bonds. What's Warren Buffett doing? He's running the opposite direction. The crowd is running out of the building. He is running into it. The lone man running in. Why? He says, well, today people who hold cash equivalents feel comfortable. Hey, I hold cash equivalents, and I actually feel very uncomfortable because I hate cash. Why do I hate cash? Cash loses value. If I'm earning 5% of my money, and inflation is running at 5%, as it surely will the next 10 or 20 years, I'm losing money or making nothing. So I hate cash. But people hold cash equivalents, feel comfortable. I feel very comfortable. The banks are guaranteeing my money. I can't lose it. But people should not feel comfortable, he says. They have opted for a terrible long-term asset, one that pays virtually nothing and is certain to depreciate in value. And Warren's 100% right. What Warren says are equities or stocks, particularly American stocks, will almost certainly outperform cash over the next decade. Listen to me when I say this. What Warren is saying is that this is not a long-term 10-year bear market, that this is a market where stocks will still outperform cash over the next 10 years. May not outperform it by a lot, may only slightly keep up with inflation, but he's saying it will outperform cash over the next 10 years. And he says this, probably by a substantial degree. So Warren is even more bullish in this market than I am. If you've seen my previous videos, I'm predicting that this market could indeed be flat overall for the next 10 years. Warren is predicting otherwise. If I had to be a betting man, I would go with Warren. However, I may hold to my convictions, I don't know. But the point is that Warren is not running the cash, he's running the equities right now. Now, there was an article in a company in a website called MarketWatch, I think it was marketwatch.com, and the editor of that site, Weidner, responded to Buffett's article in a very, very cynical manner. And I got this from motleyfool.com, which wrote a rebuttal to it, a very nice rebuttal that I will publish on my website very soon, but I want to give you my point of view. First of all, the accusations that this terrible site has made on Buffett. First, Warren Buffett can get better terms when he invests, so his advice does not apply to you. Secondly, that Buffett wrote the New York Times article to talk up shares because he made recent investments in General Electric and Goldman Sachs, and the shares that he preferred, as soon as he bought them, went down. So his investments are underwater. And he needs to stir up some buying action to get those share prices up again. And the third, that the stocks that Buffett is buying for his personal account are irrelevant since he made his fame with his gains at Berkshire Hathaway. Here is a guy that is so naive that he is being ridiculous. And let me tell you something. The guy who's writing this article is not rich. He's writing a site, Market Watch, to make money. That's his business. That's how he makes money. He wouldn't be doing that if he was rich already. He'd probably be retired. Or if he was that rich, he would be giving his money away. Let me tell you three things. Number one is this. Warren Buffett is not making these investments that he's talking about in his letter in Berkshire Hathaway. He's making it with his own money that until now he has kept entirely in cash. So why would he suddenly change his mind and turn around and change it to buy stocks? He's been through 15 market crashes since he started and 3 or 4 major ones since he started Berkshire Hathaway, and this is the first time he's done this. Why? Has he been hit harder by this one? No. 1987 stocks fell 49% in one day. That hasn't happened yet. We've had bigger crashes than this. I think Warren survived larger crashes than this already, yet he hasn't done it. Number two, Warren's investments in Berkshire Hathaway, he has dedicated totally to charity. So his entire investment in Berkshire Hathaway, his $40-odd billion of net worth, has already been gifted or promised or pledged, if you like, to Bill Gates and Melinda Gates's fund, where all of their Microsoft investment money is going as well. So what Warren Buffett is doing now is he's taking his entire net worth. He's gifted all that money to charity. So all he's doing is managing Berkshire Hathaway for the best result until he can give it away to charity to help the world. This is not a guy with bad intentions. This is a guy with good intentions. So here is somebody trying to make money out of a website, telling us that the guy is giving the bulk of his worth to charity, telling him that Warren Buffett is essentially a crook. How can anybody possibly believe that? So now what Warren is doing is he's taking his money that's been in cash, putting his cash at risk, his entire real net worth at risk, in order to make some investments. Why? To beef up the stock market. He doesn't need to. He never sells his stocks. So the stock market is down now. His investments in Goldman Sachs and General Electric are down today. He doesn't care. In 10 years' time or 20 years' time, they'll be up. He's never selling. That's why he's buying, simply buying because the market is low. The third and final thing I want to say is this. Warren Buffett is not getting preferred terms when he buys this stock that is in his own name. He's only getting preferred terms when he buys through Berkshire Hathaway because he has an obligation to his shareholders. Watch this space. I don't believe Warren will get any more special terms using his own cash than will you or I. So watch this space. Listen to this guy's advice at your own peril, or listen to the world's greatest investor and make more money over the next 10 years than you ever dreamed of.